Yes, people, what's good? It's your boy Flicks back with another Tottenham update. If you're new to my channel right now and you've never seen any of my videos before, please hit that subscribe button, smash a like, share, and have your say in the comment section. I'll be very much appreciated. So we're going to be talking about Jack Grealish. Apparently he's linked with Tottenham, my man Heung, and Bournemouth's Semenyo. So another Tottenham update. Come on, let's go. And up the Spurs. So another Tottenham update and all things transfers once again, ladies and gents. So who should I talk about first? I'm going to talk about my man Heung. Heung has been a very, very loyal servant to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. A very loyal servant. In my opinion, one of the best and deserves a statue outside the lane. I just hope that pulls through. But then there's a few others that deserve that statue as well, and it's never happened. But Heung has been linked with Saudi Arabia for a number of weeks, saying that, I'm going to say a good month, maybe 2 months max. Sonny, it's going to break my heart when Sonny leaves. I can't be the only one thinking the same thing. Sonny, like I said, he's been a very, very loyal servant to Tottenham Hotspur. He has been with us and stuck with us through thick and thin. We have been through so many ups and downs, from the verge of winning trophies like the Champions League to being pretty much like last season, like in the league anyway. 22 league defeats, on the verge of relegation. It was only thanks to the likes of Leicester, etc., being a lot worse off than what we were in the end. But thankfully, we got over the line slightly with a trophy after 17 years, and I'm just so thankful Heung managed to clinch his hands on a major trophy. Some major silverware finally reaches our cabinet and brushes that dust aside. But Sonny to leave, it's going to happen. If not next season, then the season after. He's only got one year left on his contract. Is he going to get that extension? He's currently 32, pushing 33 roughly. We all know his legs are slowing down. I can't be the only one thinking that his pace has slowed down a hell of a lot. And again, part of me is thinking, is it the amount of injuries? Because I know he's not the only one who's had a lot of injuries last season, but he's had quite a few knocks. But to be linked with Saudi Arabia, there's not really a connection as far as I know with a certain club out there. But like I said, there's a lot of talks with him being linked with a Saudi move away from Tottenham to go there. And like I said, it's going to break my heart seeing Son leave when that day comes. It's only a matter of time now. But I'd like to think he's going to stick with us for one more season. He's going to see his last year out with Tottenham. He's going to stick with us. Maybe I'd like to think he's going to sit down with Thomas Frank, because Thomas Frank is a definite yes now. I know it's still not confirmed officially, but that news should break within the next maybe day or two. But I'd like to think he's going to sit down with Thomas Frank and talk things out, and then we're definitely going to find out more after that, after their little chit chat. I reckon anyway. But another part of me is thinking, like I said, Sonny's been a loyal servant. He's finally achieved what he came to Tottenham to do, and that was to win silverware. He's done that. And now it's time to move on a high. Go out on a high. Leave Tottenham on a high. You've done, you've come, you've achieved. Now leave on a high. But then another part of me is thinking, come on, one more season. We've got Champions League football for another one, for another thing. You know, to really, for him to really consider. He could have Champions League football for another season with Tottenham, who he absolutely adores. And like I said, he's been with us through thick and thin. We've had so many ups, but then we've had so many downs. And again, I'd like to think Thomas Frank is going to come in. No disrespect to Ange, but he liked to play a lot of high line, which I see as where the injuries were coming in. Ange Postecoglou was very, very pass-faced, wanted quick, high line. I've thought more about Thomas Frank. He is, how can I put it? I'm gonna say he's a very tactical genius. That's the word I'm trying to think of. He's a very tactical genius. You've only got to look at the way he built Bournemouth up. I know they did, because I said it in one of my last videos. I actually thought they won promotion, but they didn't. They won the playoff final, because I know the season before, they was in the playoff final and they lost. So it was the season after they got to the playoff final again, and it was their term where they actually won and got promotion to the Premier League, and that was back in 2018, I believe, and they've been in the Premier League ever since. And no disrespect to Brentford again, with their players, he has worked wonders. Yes, they've got some very good players. Visser, I highly rate, and Burmo, I definitely highly rate. And he's worked wonders with them. So I'm very excited now to see what he can bring to the board. What can he bring to Tottenham? And I can't wait. And going back to Heung-min Son, I really do hope he does stick with us for at least one more season. See what Thomas Frank's got under his belt. Thomas the Tank Engine, come on, let's see what he's got. And we got Champions League football next season. So we will see what happens with my man, Heung-min Son, who I freaking love. Come on. Up next, Jack Grealish. Obviously moved from Aston Villa, his boyhood club, to Manchester City. This season, Pep Guardiola has he's had him on the bench for a hell of a lot of time, especially from what I remember towards the end of the season, for the past 3-4 months, maybe a little bit longer than that, roughly. He's been doing a lot of bench warming, and for a player of Jack Grealish's talent, he should not be on the bench. Since the season's been over, he's been linked with a number of clubs. Obviously, linked with Aston Villa. Could their fans welcome him back? But then he's also been linked with Newcastle, Everton. That's an interesting one. Can they really afford him? But then he's been linked with Tottenham, apparently. So rumour has it. Where this has come from, I do not know. So I'm only speaking from what I've heard along the line. But I can't really see Daniel Levy splashing out the money. He's on so much money at Man City that we can't afford that unless Jack Grealish is willing to, because surely he wants game time. He wants first team football, and he's guaranteed that at Tottenham, definitely. But there's going to be a huge drop in wages, and is Jack Grealish willing to do that? Only time will tell again. But we will see on that one. Another one is Bournemouth's Semenyo. Semenyo has been absolutely phenomenal for Bournemouth last season. Scored about 11 goals. He's very, very pacey, quick, skillful. But then again, so is Mbeumo. And if you're going to ask me right now, which player would I prefer to see in Lily White? Spurs colours, that is, by the way, if you're thinking Lily White. Because I know certain Spurs fans out there, what are you on about? But yeah, Lily White. So, back to the question. If you're going to ask me, which player would I take? Semenyo or Mbeumo? I'm going to choose Mbeumo. Mbeumo's just slightly above Semenyo for me. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Please have your say on that one. But for me, I would choose Mbeumo. For one, he gets you more goals. And he's just the tactical side of things are a lot better than Semenyo. But you know, if obviously Mbeumo's going to choose Manchester United when it's looking more than likely he's going to head to Man United, So if Semenyo, if that link is true, because obviously there's been a lot of talk on TalkSport, with Semenyo being linked with a move from Bournemouth to Tottenham. If that's true, then I'll accept it, because at the end of the day, Semenyo is a very good player. But going back to Mbeumo, if I had to choose right now, and only one player was going to come from Bournemouth to Spurs, then Mbeumo all day. But please, Semenyo, if you want to come to Tottenham, then please join us, because we all know Mbeumo is going to join Man United. Unless anything happens, we will see. But yes, Tottenham fans, that's enough from me on my Tottenham update. Please have your say in the comment section. Who would you like Daniel Levy and co to sign once we get, obviously, our manager, Thomas the Tank Engine, Thomas Frank, that is, over the line, and they've obviously sat down and had their little discussions. But I'm sure they're doing that already. I'm sure they're having their discussions. Who could we potentially sign before I actually put my signature on that dotted line to confirm I'm the new man in charge? But please have your say in the comment section on that one. Like I said, who would you like to see join Tottenham for the next coming season? It's going to be an interesting few weeks. As far as I know, the transfer window's shut due to the Club World Cup, and then it reopens. I can't remember what date, but it's going to be interesting. And last up, because I nearly forgot to mention it, and I only found out a couple of days ago, I am in a nomination bracket for the Tottenham Content Awards. So it's only Tottenham YouTubers on this one. So I'm in the bracket of, I will put the link in the description, by the way, but I'm under the bracket of live streams and watch-alongs. So please vote for your boy, Only One Flicks. I would appreciate it very, very much. So yeah, please share that as well. That'd be the link in description on that one. So yeah, live streams and watch-alongs. Description only, by the way, I'm only in that one. So yeah, check it out. That's enough for me, because I could waffle on all day long about my team Spurs. But yeah, like I said, that's enough from me. See you on the next video, and as always, at the Spurs, come on.